In this recording, we're going to take a look at the server query module. This is a module in clinFHIR which allows you to determine the capabilities of a FHIR server and to make queries against it. It is linked to from this link right here. If you want to, you can set the data server over here before you go into the app, but equally you can set it from within the app, so that's what we'll do. So we'll click on the option like so, and after a second or so the application comes up. Now we're actually going to look at this in two distinct videos. This one will focus on selecting the server and looking at the capabilities, and the second will focus on queries. So at the top here we have the select server dialog. As you can see, it's already got the public FHIR server selected, and you can see the URL over here. If you do need an access token to access the server, then it could be entered here. We also have the capability of entering an ad hoc server, i.e. just entering the base URL of the server and then clicking set. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to one of the existing servers, the term NZR4 server. The reason why I'm choosing this, if we select this right here, we'll see that it's a terminology server, and it supports only a subset of the operations inside of FHIR, and we can see those on the Server Capabilities tab. So looking first at the REST interface, we see the types which are supported by the server. If we wish to, we can click on this little link right here, and it will take us in a new tab to that resource type in the specification. Returning to server query, you can also see that as we selected that type, we get information appearing over on this right hand side. To start with, we have the structure of this resource, at least in the core specification. So for code system, here are the possible elements of code system. We also have interactions. Now these are the types of interaction that this server supports for this type. So as you can see, for code system, it supports only two interactions, one being reading a resource instance if you know what its ID is, and the second being search type, which allows you to look for different code system resources. Over here are the search parameters exposed by the server. I should say that all of this information is coming from the capability statement resource, which is exposed by all FHIR servers. So here are the search parameters that you can use on this server to search for code system resources. So the code of the code system, identifier, and so forth. Over here are operations which are supported again against this particular resource type. So you can do a lookup, you can do a validate code, you can do a subsumes. There is definition of these operations, but you can also go into the specification to look up the details. Here are the conditionals, if any, that are supported, and finally the actual JSON within the capability statement which represents this resource, if that kind of makes sense. Hopefully it does. This tab just gives us the description of the server. It's again from the capability statement resource, and we can see here the name, description of it, FHIR version, publisher, format supported, and so forth. REST operations, so these are the operations that the server supports at the root level. So for example, you can do a lookup like so. You can do a subsumes, and my favorite is expand, which is this one here, and you can see that expand, there's the URL for it on this server, can be applied to the type or an instance. If it's a type, it's against a value set, and here are the parameters that it supports. Again, this information is all available in the specification, and I will try to do a link to the specification if I can. And finally, this tab over here is the actual JSON of the capability statement, which, as I said, forms the basis for the display in this application.